Aloha, this is Dr. Martina, your online sex therapist and sex educator. What turns you on and what turns you off, I think, is the million-dollar question of sexual functioning. Now, if we consider turn-ons as pushing the gas pedal on the desire, we can look at turn-offs as hitting the brakes on desire. Now, wouldn't it be nice to know what makes you press the gas pedal and what makes you press the brakes? Well, let me tell you, it would be excellent for your sexual functioning. And this is why. Masters and Johnson gave us the first model of a sexual response cycle. It has changed a bit over the years, but still it talks about the changes, the physical and emotional changes a body goes through during sexual activity. Now, and that includes solo sex, of course. Now, the four stages that are the most popular right now is the first stage is desire, which is also called libido. Second stage is arousal. Excitement is another word for that. And then the third stage is orgasm. And then the fourth stage is resolution. Now, learning this model helped us clinical sexologists identify what is happening during sexual activity and how the body does respond to it, and therefore understand what's happening and identify sexual challenges within this model, and are able to help clients with their sexual challenges. In the late 90s, Eric Johnson and John Bancroft from the Kinsey Institute gave us a new model, the dual control model of sexual response. This model not just describes the physical and emotional changes a body goes through during sexual activity, but they're talking about how and why we accelerate sexual arousal and how and why we put our brakes on sexual arousal. And the way they came up with that is they looked at the central nerve system which is made up of a series of partnerships between accelerator and brakes. Like the fight or flight nerve system is in partnership with which is the accelerator, and it's in partnership with the rest and digest nerve system, which is the brakes. And then they thought, so what's true for other aspects of the nerve system must also be valid for the brain system that coordinates sex. Sexual accelerator and sexual brakes. The sexual accelerator of your sexual response is called sexual excitation system, SES. The sexual brakes is called sexual inhibition system, SIS. The SES receives information from your senses and your thoughts about sexually relevant stimuli in the environment and sends a signal from the brain to your genitals and tells them to turn on. The SES constantly scans your context for things that are sexually relevant to you. It is always working, and you're unaware of that because it happens subconsciously, and the only time you become aware of it is when you're sexually turned on and pursue sexual pleasure. As I mentioned earlier, the sexual brake system is called the sexual inhibition system, and inhibition does not mean shyness here, but rather sends an off signal. Just like the accelerator, it also works all the time. It scans for anything your brain signals as a good reason not to be aroused right now, like STI transmission, unwanted pregnancies, social consequences, performance anxiety, fear of performance failure, etc. Now, and that is basically what the dual control model is. It's a partnership between acceleration and brakes. Now, the details of these models are a bit more complex, but the basic idea, I think, is powerful because you could see all the sexual dysfunction as an imbalance between acceleration and brakes, imbalance between turn-ons and turn-offs. We all have a sexual accelerator and sexual brakes in our central nervous system. We are the same that way. But we all have different sensitivities to those two systems. We're all different that way. So next week I'm going to talk about how you can find out about your sensitivity of the SES and the SIS, how it differentiates between men and women, and if you can change your sensitivity to these systems. So I will see you next week. And if you want to get your 15-minute free consultation about this, you just give me a call and we can talk about it. Looking forward to hear from you.